Hola chicos, bienvenidos a Pragmático. Hoy tenemos un live súper especial. Vamos a estar un poco cortos de tiempo, entonces pues de una vez voy a darle la bienvenida a nuestros invitados de hoy. Vamos a estar traduciendo inglés-español. Sé que Andrea habla un poquitico de español, ahí va a estar bien divertido. Que nos pueda hablar un poco. Vamos a darle la bienvenida a todos aquí. Hola chicos. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Andrea, Ross, Justin, how are you guys?
Absolutely fantastic, my friend. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having us on.
Thanks for being here and you know giving a bit of your busy schedules to share with us.
Of course.
Okay. We're just gonna start saying hi to everybody here. We have Tara from Fact to Fights here. Hi, Tara.
I have zero surprise that Tara's one of the first people on here. Zero surprise.
I know.
We love Tara. Tara's awesome. Yep.
Hola, Christian.
Christian.
How are you, sir?
Hello,
I'm not sure. I would like people in the chat to tell us if we should translate everything or if we can just go ahead in English. Because here Andres, he's here in Colombia and he's speaking in English, so that should be all good. Brandon is here as well from
He's Alchemist. How are you, sir?
Brandon
is here. So okay, we should start by I don't know, telling everybody how do you guys feel now after signing? How many bottles did you guys sign?
Lots.
A lot.
Way too many.
We didn't count them.
Way too many.
I can tell you the ballpark of how many packages went out in that 24 hours. It was around 800 packages. It was in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and so many people did order several bottles. So
yeah, that was some singles, some 2 of our fragrances, some threesomes, some foursomes. It was variety. Some with rosé, some with this.
Yeah, yeah, whole lot.
So, have you been taking a break? Have you been resting these past few days? What have you been doing? From I think it was last weekend when you guys went back to your cities. What have you been
this
doing?
Past weekend.
Jay, go first.
You had to get a wind up, you know.
Yeah, getting it ready.
We call that the Obama wind up.
There you go.
Okay, that's very.
No, honestly, resting has not happened at all. You just kind of, as Ross said, you fall back into it head first. Because honestly, while we were away, you know, it was a small little bubble that we were in where it was a new routine for that moment. It was like, wake up, am I going to eat? Maybe go and work for 12 hours, come back, veg out, eat, film, go to sleep for 4 hours, rinse and repeat. And that was a routine, but all the while, you know, at least for me, I can speak for myself, in the back of my head, I'm thinking about my other routine back home. I'm like, oh man, I'm not really working out. I have, you know, filming and editing and just no time. So as soon as I got back, it was just like, I'm editing a video. I edited videos on the way there. I edited a video on the plane back, uploaded the video when I got home, you know, just right back into it. And yeah, not healthy, but here we are, still alive.
Yeah. I did a video when I got home. Like I had that Roger Parfums package. Video. And me and the wife talked about it in the car on the ride back. She gets it. I have the most supportive wife in the world when it comes to me doing what I need to do. And I literally didn't unpack nothing. Sat here, did that video, edited it, got it ready for in the morning. Then I chill. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Andrea?
Well, I mean, just how Justin said already, travel was like something else. It was exactly how he described it. 4 hours of sleep. And even if we got 4 hours of sleep, because we were really, you know, when you're very, very tired and exhausted and your whole body is hurting from, you know, being in one position and actually like doing stuff for like 12 hours. And like your body was like, no, you know what? You're not gonna sleep. I'm not. I'm hurting right now. You're not
Not
sleeping.
anymore.
Yes.
Not anymore. That ship has sailed.
That's a great way to put it.
So yeah, and also when we were there, it was a lot of fun. We had this adrenaline of, oh my god, yes, we have to get this done because we only have like a few days and everything needs to be done before we leave. And then once I came back with Anthony, we were like, it's like as if a freaking train hit us. That's how it felt. I was like, oh.
I had a certain spot in my upper back that was killing me. It's funny that you say that. It felt like somebody just, like Butterbean or somebody real big, just right in one spot on my upper back for like 3 days. I just got over it.
George, check
I'm
your
gonna
Instagram
send him the link now. I'm gonna text the link now.
George, where are you?
I've been meaning to talk to George for such a long time, but he's so busy. I can't imagine. I don't know. You guys were there.
You think we don't sleep?
You know how busy it should be. But I have a question. When you were doing all the signing and doing this beautiful gesture for all the buyers, do you ever think like, I'm not gonna be able to finish everything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely overwhelming. When you just see the stack, and we finished some and then, we got more orders, we got to sign these, and it just kept coming, which was such a bless. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we're literally here fulfilling orders and more are coming in. And it got to the point where our original plan of, I think we had maybe scheduled like 2 full days of work. Mm-hmm. By the, maybe halfway through that second day, we realized this is not going to be enough time.
It's not happening. Yeah.
We extended it to another day. And
flights changed, hotel stays extended. Yep.
If we hadn't have done that, it would not have happened.
Mm-hmm.
How? I mean, you guys have your normal life, your busy things, your personal projects. How did you manage to kind of juggle all the Zaharoff project with your personal things, music for Justin and for Andrea, and your personal things for you, Ross?
Who wants to go first? Ross.
I absolutely can. They tend. I'm a talker, so they look to me to be first.
Okay, I'm gonna be it because I'm gonna introduce the mastermind behind all this, the mind behind it all. Here it is, Mr. George Zaharoff. George, how are you, my friend?
Hi there. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Hello.
And Anthony's here as well.
I know those guys. They look familiar.
Hi, Anthony. Hi, Edna, Justin, Rossi.
Hi, George.
Hola, Georgie.
Hi, Bear.
George, nice to see you again.
Thank you for having us.
No, thanks for accepting this invitation for this kind of, informal chat about the project now that you have officially launched and people has been getting all the bottles and all this excitement of the launch. And, for people in Latin America, to get to know about this project, luckily, all the people who is so far in the chat have been able to understand everything in English. So if anybody really needs, I'm going to say this in Spanish probably. So, si alguno de ustedes prefiere que hagamos la traducción al español, pues nos avisen y ahí voy traduciendo un poquito. So I was asking the guys how did they manage to juggle their personal projects, their personal professions with this massive Zaharoff project, and especially in this past week that you were actually busy doing like 18 hours work. I don't know who wants to begin.
You guys, I think I need you guys to fly back here because
we knew that was coming. We called that.
There's more to do.
Oh my God!
I knew that was coming.
Understood.
George, we would love to.
I know.
Yes.
We talked about it before
the double tree is our second home.
Actually, that was the last thing that me and Andrea talked about before the end of the night, because they left before me and Justin did the next morning. She's like, I don't think this is the last time we're going to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys already have sleeping bags in the office?
always,
in the
always
office.
sharing it.
Have a tent in the office. But Ross, why don't you go ahead and start with that?
Yeah. So when it comes to balance, it comes down to how bad do you want it? That's really the ultimate thing here. How invested do you want to be? How invested does it make you want to be? And this made us want to be as invested as possible. We were all in from the start. And the beauty of this, what made it so easy for us, I think the work would have seemed like a lot more, even though we realized what all was going on this past week, it would have seemed like a lot more if we didn't get along so well, because I'm sure you guys can see anytime we do a live, we do a video together, whatever, we genuinely love being around each other. That makes things so much easier. You never get in the type of mood to where you want to slow down. You're irritated with something. It just makes it easier when you're around people you genuinely like being around. So that makes the workload so much easier. So that makes it easier to want to be involved as much as possible. You get to be around these wonderful, beautiful people, their creativity, their personalities. It makes everything fun. So you look forward to doing these things. So you make time for it. Mm-hmm. We always try to make time. We schedule. Everybody's got their things going on. We always try to get together to handle business. And the business side is only 10 minutes of the maybe 2 hours we end up talking. We handle business first, and then we just enjoy each other's company.
And I think we have a good, where we're at it, where we work out of and where we're at with Zaharoff, I think I have a good, I got to clean my desk with all my files. Jesus. But I think we have a good environment, and, the area is beautiful, and it's all in, all of us are together, and I think everyone got into some kind of groove. And you're right, the energies flow. They flow with everybody,
Okay. How about for you, Andrea? How do you manage to juggle? And even you, Anthony, as well. Nice to meet you.
You too, man. Thank you.
Javi, do you mean in general, like?
In general, your personal projects with music. You have, you recently launched a single, and your personal project.
Yeah.
Your personal life, your personal day-to-day job, probably, because of course you have to. If I can imagine, like, if I have a 9-to-5 job, I'll have to call my boss and tell him, like, I gotta be out, or can I be off for a week because I have to do this thing? How do you guys manage that? And it's personal, you and Anthony.
Yeah, for us, it's a little bit different. We're both musicians, and we just started getting back to performing again, because when the pandemic was around, it's still around, but before, when the measures were very restricted, we weren't able to perform for over a year and a half. So now we just slowly coming back. We're trying to find our rhythm, really focusing on that, practicing our music, our craft. A week ago, I had actually a recording a new song right before I flew to Chicago. So there's a lot of things happening at the same time, but this is things that we really love. So we really spend a lot of time and effort and energy into these things. But it can get very time consuming, and sometimes you just need to prioritize what's more important at the moment, what needs focus at the moment. And for us, YouTube has been, lately we haven't been posting a lot because of all of these things. We wanted to focus on the creators, the fragrance, our music, but we're slowly coming back to it. Would you like to add something?
Sure.
Well, we have a super chat here from a guy
Big
called
surprise.
Zaharoff. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is like you. Are you sponsoring yourself, George? Thank you very much for this super chat.
I guess I'm shilling myself.
There you go.
You're gonna get a cut from this. Don't worry, George.
There you go.
We have to support content.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, George. So, Anthony, how was it like for you?
Yeah, basically, Andrea and I live kind of the same life mostly. We play in the same band on the weekends. So I think before we came to Chicago, we played a gig on Saturday, got like 3 hours of sleep, got on the plane to go to Chicago, came back Friday, and then we had another gig the next Saturday. So it was kind of been, nonstop.
Nonstop, yeah.
But we make it work. We mostly perform on the weekends, so it kind of works out for us. And if you also look at our YouTube channel, I mean, we haven't posted until today for about a month. So that's why we do these long breaks. We've been getting back into the groove of practicing, as she said. So hopefully things will get a little bit back to normal, but it was all worth it for sure.
Good. And how about you, Justin? Because you, as far as I know, like George did an interview with you, and you're doing a PhD, or you were doing one. So I can imagine like work, PhD, the launch of this project. How do you manage to juggle all that, and especially this past week?
It's kind of a deeper question because it comes down to like the lifestyle that we each lead, which is, it's not the same between us, but even just pursuing YouTube as a content creator is an artistic route. And especially when you start devoting a lot of time to it, as we have, and especially as you start to try to monetize it and actually make a living kind of doing this, I think we're all kind of in a position where we can dedicate a lot of time to that, and we don't need a 9-to-5 job. We have to kind of diversify. So I think we can all speak for ourselves, but as a musician, I have that route that I tend to every single day, whether that's teaching. All the universities I teach at are on break now, so not doing that at the moment, but still teaching private lessons. Performing is becoming more prevalent now that venues are opening up. People are coming out of their homes more. So that's picking up a lot. I'm performing at least, 2 to 3 times a week now. But that, those slots and time are always they're set ahead of time, and I know where they are and I can plan around them. And basically all my other free time, which is, relatively a bit of it now, because again, I'm not going into an office on a daily basis, is spent putting energy into my YouTube channel or Instagram page, whether that's filming, editing, whether that is practicing trumpet, which I do a lot of, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't feel like I've had to rearrange or anything, especially with this project. I mean, it kind of just dug out its own little spot in my life where it had space, and I didn't have to like, am I going to have to make time to make this call? Or it was just already there. And again, I think it's because, at least for me, I feel fortunate enough to have the time and the space to where it wasn't an issue. But that comes as a result of years of hard work. So again, I think we can all relate to that as content creators, but I hope that makes sense. I feel like I was kind of
no, it does. It does.
Very well put.
Does. Yeah, very well.
You guys notice that hi everybody. Do you notice that Dustin is more like, he's like very
articulate.
He's very relaxed, and he's in his space, and he's fucking commanding it. Like
he is.
I love it.
George, I'm just trying to be more like you every day. That's all. I just need that shirt, man.
There you go.
Hey,
I need that.
You're getting good at that. That's getting like one hand, boom, like nothing.
I need to get more of these. If anyone knows where I could get these kind of cheap, they have to be cheap though. Because
you can get them.
Like the good ones are like, gotta be the plastic, vinyl, like that.
Hey,
I believe in southern Spain you can get plenty of them.
Yeah.
With beautiful colors and things. So now that we have George in the center here, I wanted to ask you, George, how and why did you choose this beautiful lot of creators?
So when the idea first came up a couple years ago, I had spoken to a lot. I was just new into this stage, and I had spoken to the ones that I knew. I did not know Curly. I had not met Andrea and Anthony yet. And it was at Sense Explorer 2019 that Mon had shared. We got a room, and Mon had split the room with me, and I was telling them that this is what I want to do, and they said they wanted me to. So what I wanted was to have small channels, the idea at the time, small channels, big channels. So if the smaller channels, it would help the bigger channels would help the small channels. I wanted this to be where it would help everything. And look at this, 2 years later now, and they've all gotten big channels. And a lot of people had said, well, why did you pick the big channels? I did it. Ross, when I asked you, what were you at the time?
I only had a few thousand the first time we spoke about it. Yeah.
And then Andrea, you were not that big.
I think she was at like 18. We tried to figure it out the other day.
Yeah, I was 18. Yeah.
And she's almost at 80.
And now, and Justin, you were around the same thing, right?
Yeah, maybe 20. I don't quite remember now.
And so they were smaller. Yeah, about that, right? Around that time. And so they were
Something
smaller, and Mon wanted to make sure that the group was diverse, which is what I also wanted. I had wanted Justin from the very beginning, but I did not know Curly at that time, and they wanted a girl, a female part of the group. And I was like, there's females that do men's fragrance? And they're like, yes, Curly scents. And then that's when I reached out to Curly, and we had the they just adore her at Mon. And so they're huge fans of her and her channel. And so I'm really glad. My goodness, like I look back, and I don't want to get too wordy, but so a couple of things, because there's been some questions out there that I want to address. Also, they said, why did I pick the United States? I had to because of Mon USA. There's laws that govern oils and IFRA and all this stuff, and crisscrossing borders with oils. I couldn't, and I had to work through Mon USA, and it had to be United States. So, and this was 2 years ago. So this has been a huge, you guys, it's been a lot. And then we had the pandemic, but we plowed through it.
Yeah.
And this was an effort. Everything was, I wanted to make sure that this was done right. And, with Andrea and Anthony, the rendition to get it perfect, to get the siren perfect, was a long process. It was months and months and months. It was more than that, probably a year or so. But I think I love it. I love the group. I'm glad that it is what it is, and there's some kind of rhythm or energy that's flowing through all of this that I just love.
Yeah, there is, and by all the stories and all the kind of vlogging that you did through Instagram, we, as the public, I think we got to see all the good energy and all the good vibes that you kind of created and generated as a group. And now I want to ask you, like you guys, the creators, when George first approached you with this idea, what was crossing through your mind? Like, I can imagine George like telling you guys like, Andrea, I have this idea. What was going through your minds when he was just speaking those words? Who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Go ahead.
All right.
I had started the channel that year, actually. And it was like a few months that I was in the channel. And so this was very, new to me. I wasn't expecting it to come, so early, at least. I always wanted to create a fragrance since young. I'm sure everybody who's into fragrances, everyone, one day wants to create a fragrance, whether that's just a dream or like something that, and when I talked to George and he told me about it, I was like, what? Really? Me? And then he told me, at Man, they really wanted to work with you. Like, wow, this is beyond me. I couldn't believe it, So I was very, very, very excited and thankful, and here we are.
Did you ever think, like, knowing George, or probably knowing him on his online platform, like he's just pranking me and he's just pulling joke on me?
No, I didn't think of that. George is an idol in the fragrance community, so I was thrilled to be,
Good.
one of his the people that he wanted to work with. So yeah,
I'm just as thrilled. I was just as thrilled too, and and the more I got to know Andrea and Anthony, they're very particular with who they work with, and as we went along the timeline, and I started to know them, I'm just very grateful that I had the opportunity to work with them. So it's a two-way street. Like, I think that I don't know, I can't explain it to you, Javier, but I have a feeling that this is going to shake things up a bit in this space, and I think it's going to inspire other brands, other fragrance houses to work with content creators or see them as brands as opposed to YouTubers.
True.
I think that I can't explain it to you. I feel it. I feel there's eyeballs on this, and I think that the way it was done properly. And I have to imagine, because if I was sitting on the sidelines, just as George Zaharoff is a small fragrance house, if I was looking at this, I'd be like, I want to be a part of this. And and it doesn't take a lot to bring, if you already have an existing infrastructure as a fragrance house, to bring a content creator under the fold like I did. It's not that difficult if you have the infrastructure already set up. If you're already creating fragrances and you have the team in place, it just becomes a project. And that's just my prediction. So anyway, going back to Curly, I just, all three of them, I just think that it was meant to be this way.
How about you, Ross? What went through your mind when George approached you to tell you, like, I want to work with you, I have this project in mind, and you're one of the chosen ones?
Obviously, I was very humbled by it, and my first thought was, but I'm super small, right? Like, I would think you would want to, because I was 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 around that time, and which is still pretty small. That's for our niche, that's a good sized channel, but that's still, to do something like this, that was my thought process. So, and he explained to me the premise of what he wanted to do, and I just couldn't help but think how brilliant the idea was once he really gave me the premise of what he wanted to do and the level of freedom that was going to be given. I couldn't believe it. And of course, I'm not going to pass up, I'm hitting my mic, not going to pass up a situation like this, an opportunity. And then once he started telling me all the different people he was talking to and people he had in mind, and one of the first name that came out of his mouth was this gentleman with a couple buttons undone right here. And I love Justin. So I was thrilled immediately. And then I got to meet Justin in New York, because he had told me a few weeks before Scent Explore. And then that's when I got to meet Andrea and Anthony as well. And we all just meshed. And then over time, obviously, we got to know each other better, but it just seemed like the right fit. And the idea, I thought, was brilliant. I believe at the time, it just hasn't been done like this before. So it's an honor and a privilege. Even then, I was thinking it's an honor and a privilege to be involved in something like this that I think will change the way things are done moving forward. I believe the bar has been set very high, and I have that man to thank for this, because, I mean, I can't believe I got to work with a legendary perfumer. I got to work with this gentleman right here on creating that beautiful packaging right there. It's just, everything was just so top notch, and there was never a absolutely not moment. It was, okay, how can we work to get to that? How can we make that idea come to life? That was the process. And it was just, it was better than I could have imagined at the time when he first spoke to me about it. It's crazy the way this thing actually shook out.
Now, how about you, Justin?
When George first mentioned it, it was such a shocking idea to me that it almost didn't make sense. It almost didn't register. Like, I wasn't understanding exactly what was about to happen. Like on the surface, he's like, yeah, we're gonna, I have these other reviewers and want to collaborate and create fragrance. I was like, okay, like those words went into my brain. I get it, but I didn't really get like what that's going to entail until the process began. And when it started, honestly, I was very overwhelmed. I was like, oh, this is really happening. I have to, we have to do something we've never done before. I have to think in a different box now and utilize all of this, knowledge and wisdom and things that we've gained through fragrance, through our own journeys of YouTube, and like our tastes that have changed and evolved with time. And how do you put yourself into this bottle? And it was kind of scary at first. But, it was an amazing team. Yeah, it was an amazing team. George, was just continually encouraging, like, be yourself, put you in this bottle. I want you to put yourself out there. And here's the platform. Don't worry about dollars. Don't worry about time. Like, we're just going to get it done, and it's going to be first class. And obviously, I think as the project continued to unfold, that started to just become clearer. And I realized like what we were actually doing and how different it would be. So yeah, it was quite a journey, quite an internal roller coaster from the time he told me to the time it was underway. But
we're crazy.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
Look where you guys are.
Okay, yeah, you couldn't really envision at the time how it would go down, because I mean it's something we've never done before, and it's just the way it all shook out. The pandemic, we immediately, when lockdowns happened, it was like, oh, damn, what are we going to do? The perfumers were working from their homes. Mon was working from their homes. Nothing got shelved. Let's keep going, because Mon believed in this. That's the best part. Not just George believing in us. Mon, as one of the largest flavor houses in the world, believed in this project. They were all in with us. It was incredible.
And I want to be very, very specific, very like with my words to say that these individuals, it's their own creation. It wasn't pulled from a library and tweaked. They wrote their briefs. They worked directly with each one of them, were assigned a no. So they wrote a brief that went to Mon, to the two ladies at Mon, Bibi Praval and Dana. Bibi's within the internal workings of Mon USA, and Bibi is in head of sales. So they all sent we all met in New York, January, February of 2019, right?
I think so, yeah.
Right, and then we met, and you guys couldn't make it, so it was on conference call, and we met with Mon, and it was at that they were to fill out their brief. It was sent to Mon, and the women picked the noses. I had nothing to do when it came. What I wanted is I wanted a total fragrance creative experience. They had to go through the whole process of creating a brief, working with the nose, going back and forth. They created all of this from scratch. And I even wanted, I think someone was getting anxious, like, oh my God, it's going to go to market. I go, welcome to creating a fragrance, because now it's time to put it out, and and it's all of the stuff that I go through. And I told them, imagine investing $1 million of your own dollars into something for a fragrance and not knowing the stress is even greater. But all of them did an incredible, incredible job. Each one of them had their story. The packaging, everything was, and that's the collaboration part. The cap, the bottle, the box was Zaharoff, but they created, I gave them a blank canvas, whatever they wanted, they created. And so this is them. This isn't bought from a store or a library or, it's all them. I'm very proud of them. The one thing that I am thinking in my head is, because I was very nervous, I wanted a beginning and an end. I wanted to make sure that we all had an out, because sometimes, this was the first time this was ever happening. And now I see the fragrances. I shouldn't say that I should have had more faith, but like these are really good fragrances. These are fragrances that need to be in the market, and at the level of the investment that was made on these fragrances and the level that it's being presented, it deserves to be a fragrance for like ever. That's how good these turned out. But for now, once these are all sold out, I only made one lot. Once the lot sold out, that's it. Even if I wanted to come out with, if I wanted to say, you guys, you know what, we're going to do another run, it's not going to be, it would take a year because I have all the other projects for Zaharoff in the making as well that it would have to be pushed to a year out. So this is it.
And George, you were speaking about the market. These fragrances need to be out in the market. This channel, Fractasticus from Latin America, we do videos in Spanish, we do English, and people is actually already asking and wondering when and where can they get their fragrances, like this collection. Because I know in some countries, in Chile and in Mexico and in some countries, you already have distribution for the Signature and Royale and Noir. But how about these ones? Like Erika is just waiting for these fragrances in Mexico. There was Omar from Entre Perfumes asking, is there someone who actually distributes them in Mexico?
No, and we get the abandoned shopping carts. We get all the requests, especially when it comes to, Andrea has a huge fan base in Europe.
In Latin America as well, let me tell you.
See.
And she would have been sold out if we were able. But you guys, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way.
Okay.
Besides, they're all gonna be sold out pretty soon. So, I just can't. I don't have the infrastructure. I just don't have it. I'm sorry. I can't. And Europe passed a new law July 1st where we no longer sell to Europe at all. I had to shut it down completely.
So no Europe anymore.
No Europe, and and Andrea's like, I have a friend in the Netherlands. Can you send it to the UK? I go, there's nothing I could do. Nothing. It's just they've made it very, very difficult to ship and sell products. I mean, it's unbelievable. The tariffs, and I have to the buyer has to pay the duty when they buy the bottle, and I have to remit. And I can't. I don't have it. I don't have the infrastructure for the accounting I can't do it.
Okay, so that's been answered for everybody in Latin America. Probably people who is gonna watch this or who are watching this from Europe. Australia, they're gonna be covered, right?
So Australia is getting a very small amount, and I'm doing it because of my relationship with Oligard. It's one of the first perfumeries that took Zaharoff from the very beginning. So the people in Australia are going to have a limited amount, and that's it. That's all. Like, I'm opening up a Greek perfumery the first week of September, and they're not going to have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This project was conceived to be limited, right?
It was, yeah, and I just adore Andrea. I look at her, I'm like, I want to hug her. and she's just amazing, and the fragrance is amazing. All of the fragrance, everyone's is so beautiful, and I'm just really fucking proud of what we've created, motherfuckers.
And look, I held back dropping an F-bomb earlier, but all right then. But I agree.
And everybody's happy. Look, Julie saying that she got them today.
Yes, thank you, Julie.
And all the three are amazing.
Brandon
as well.
Thank you, my man.
Tara has already filmed a review.
Yes.
So
We love you, Tara.
we have here Aussie Fragrance as well.
Aussie, thank you.
Yo.
Mark has a layering combo going on as his scent of the day. I forgot what the other fragrance was, but I know one of them was Business Over Pleasure.
Business over pleasure.
Tara, I did this in the nicest way. I was watching Tara do your Justin, and I'm like, oh my God, she is absolutely stunning.
Isn't she?
Absolutely.
She is.
Oh my God! I'm like, she is beautiful.
And the biggest sweetheart.
That's the thing. She's
She
such an
is.
awesome person.
Just
She's
beautiful.
very.
Oh my God! She's gorgeous. You're gorgeous.
And right now, Tara's blushing.
Yeah. That, would you
She's
like to
laughing
join
too.
us? I can give you the link so you can join us if you like, Tara.
Yeah, and also if you want to come on too, if you want to come on, Mark, you can.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Mark's one of the funniest dudes on the planet.
Now,
I love Mark.
Javier has been a huge help for me in Colombia, and but you can't ship outside of Colombia, am I right? If anybody wanted it in South America, you can't ship outside of Colombia. Am I correct, Javier?
I can't.
Yeah,
I will only be able to do it for Colombia.
Right.
So I'm gonna say this in Spanish. Si ustedes quieren los perfumes de Justin, de Ross, de Andrea en Colombia, pídanlos porque hay manera de que los podamos tener acá en Colombia y que los podemos enviar a cada una de sus casas. Se tarda una semana más o menos. So yeah, I just say that because I know people. There's been people, especially with Andrea. You got the looks, charming people, and I remember, to me, the name of your fragrance was like this so on spot because you're a singer, and you know in mythology the singers, the sirens lured all the navigators
Yeah.
to their death by singing. So to me it was spontaneous. And was that like on purpose, that name, or you just came out naturally?
Good question. I mean, I wasn't trying to, I'm going to come out on purpose with this name. It was just it came naturally to me.
It's her. It's who she is. Are you
It's
kidding?
me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of F-bombs, don't fuck with the siren.
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
them.
No, seriously.
No.
Sirens. Go ahead, George.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You asked you the question, and I'm a piggy. Go ahead.
No, go.
A lot of people were asking about what are these, and
Yeah.
it's this. It's ancient. It's the ancient Greek pottery.
Yes, we literally took them from the vase. I don't know how we got them to be so amazing, but they look beautiful.
Great. Really good.
It's an
Yeah.
awesome idea, Andrea, that you got. Awesome. Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Here.
So Javi,
I don't have my own product. Andrea
So-
traumatized me
No, you
about
do.
using product. Andrea, is it okay if I have a bottle for myself?
please.
And Joe's like, we're gonna run out of product. I'm like, I know. So look how beautiful this is.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys could see it. Do you see it?
Let me
Let's
put
see it.
you full on.
Yeah,
there we
very
go.
Gorgeous.
It's
This is beautiful.
It's absolutely breathtaking.
Metallic and just
And
Yeah.
do you see how
Yeah,
like
listens.
how good they did it, Andrea? Like it's so.
I can't believe it looks the way it looks, George. Like seriously,
For the level of detail they have for as small as they are.
So
insane,
metallic, right? And so that's what this is.
amazing.
So people
Right
are like,
there.
this is the actual siren. And if you see, they tied up Odysseus to the boat because they had to pass. And because you go crazy when the
It's
siren
their
sings,
music.
he
Yeah.
tied himself onto the boat to withstand it so they could get through it. Am I right, Andrea? That's
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Odysseus. That's how you call him, right? In English, do you Odysseus?
Odysseus.
Odysseus. Well, he wanted to listen to the song because he knew it was so beautiful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, I want to hear it at least once. I need to hear the song. And then the sailors in the boat were like, no, if you listen to the song, you're gonna get lured by them. They're gonna kill you. You won't be able to resist. And so he's like, okay, guys, you put wax into your ears so you're not able to listen to the music, and just tie me up into the, how do you call it? In
The
music?
mast.
The
Yes.
mask.
Fast, yeah.
Tie me up, and even if I say to you, let me go, please don't do it. Whatever I say to you, don't let me go. Just tie me there. So yeah, that's what.
And so Anthony is Odysseus.
And this guy,
And then he's Odysseus, yes. Exactly. So yeah, sirens were always part of my life, I guess. Greek mythology was like a huge. It was. I was always fascinated by them. My grandfather used to read books about the mermaids, the sirens, and so I always resonated with it because yes, I am a singer, so it was one of the mythical creatures that I'm like, you know what, one day I'll be a mermaid, even though I'm not, but you know. And so when George told
What
us,
do you mean you're not?
I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Wait, what?
And George was like, guys, I want you to create anything that comes on your mind. I'm like, anything? Yeah, anything. So I went with it, and it was my one chance to be this mythical creature, and so I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, can you go full screen for a minute, please?
Me?
Sure.
No, Javier, look at this. I want you to know how difficult it was to get what we have.
Yeah.
Besides it looking like an oil painting, I mean, to get Anthony the way, and you know, the look of this tarot card, and you have the gold foil stamp, you have we had to put the size for legal reasons, and it's embossed. The Z logo is debossed, and to have it all fit like where they get it on space,
Yeah.
it was a feat. And then to have the lighting this way,
and have the hair flow, and have the wings, and the tail needed to be perfect, and the arms and the face. George, I actually have them here on my phone, all of the renditions. Maybe I can show you the very first one, or like
show you the one I have. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
I'm in my boxer shorts, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is every Zoom. This is every live.
But this is good. Like I
First
wanted
of all,
this live to
it
be
started like this.
like
That's the
let me
first
put you
sketch.
full screen. And,
It started
Yes.
like this.
Perfect.
You know, I see the similarities.
I see
I
it.
can see where you were going.
Yes.
And then I draw something. I don't know if we have it there or something. I don't have it in front of me right now, but we had so many different renditions. It started like this. That looked nothing.
The red hair.
Yeah, red hair, and
It's
then
like
it was.
Ariel from
We're like,
Little
no,
Mermaid.
it needs to be accurate. It needs to be perfect. And then it went like this, which still is not him, right? And the hair was all. I'm not sure if you guys can see this.
Yeah. We can see it.
And then we did so many different renditions, and we finalized to this one. Yeah. At one point, I thought, "Oh my God, George, probably he doesn't want to hear anymore." You know.
I have another edit.
Can we change this? Yeah, sure, of course. Are you satisfied? Actually, no. Can we?
This is the first rendition. So when it first came up,
Yeah.
I showed this. First of all, when I saw it, I'm like, "There's no way." But you're gonna laugh. This is when I knew we had to find an artist. It was a Russian artist that did this kind of work. But this is the rendition.
That was the very first one.
Look at this.
Okay, let me have George.
Oh,
Your full screen.
Guys, that was the very first ever rendition that George sent to me. That was it. The very
That's
first one.
a tarot card, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
Well, hold on. It's what we. So what I wanted to do is I go, Andrea, you know what? This is not it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
We have to find a different artist. But do you like the position?
Yes.
Do you like where Anthony is? Do you like the rock? And so at least this was a benchmark, but you see the process to get from one to the next. But this is what we did. Yeah, it's it's not like a tarot card that I bought on Amazon. We made this here.
Yeah.
But the artist didn't know this kind of art. So I had to find someone outside of Zaharoff. So this was the first rendition. And but you know what? I was saying that they were very particular, but it's excellence, and I was very inspired by it. So it wasn't like a picky or bitchy, or you know what I mean. It was, can we this? How about that? And so I really enjoyed it because it was a challenge and it was very inspiring. And I'm glad we did it because this was not easy to do. This was not easy at all because you have a box from the outside that is going to be used. It gets packed and it gets rubbed with other boxes. When you see Andrea and Anthony doing the stickers, we had them separate shipped for that reason. And so you see them literally putting it together, and Andrea and Anthony no one else touched her boxes except Andrea and Anthony to do this. And so they were very, and I like that. It's passion. Show me that than people that just don't care, or whatever. And so they were very, very particular with how the presentation was. And I think I think they should be very proud of it. I'm proud of it. They kicked ass.
Absolutely.
Totally. And how about for you, Justin? How did you came up with that? What was the idea? I know you play many instruments, but you really focus on trumpet. But you really wanted from the very beginning, I want to do this like a trumpet case and all that?
George actually have it here.
There it is. Okay, that's okay. I have my own box now.
Yeah, we can just double whammy it. This, obviously music is my first passion. I've been playing the trumpet for 20 years now, and it just made sense to combine the two worlds together. And the visual of what you see here was definitely a collaboration with George. This idea of like a leather trumpet case. I had a slightly different idea that kind of evolved.
I feel left out. Let me grab my ball.
Yeah. I had a slightly different idea that kind of evolved into this with George as we talked about it.
What was it, Justin? What was it that you wanted?
I think we had talked about something being like metal, like almost like looking like an up close shot of a trumpet, like the brass, right? And we talked about that, but in terms of how that would actually come together, we couldn't really find a way to make it work. So then it turned into this, which I think was great. Again, representing
without it looking too Zaharoff metal.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's right. And we wanted to differentiate it from the rest of his collection. So it's kind of like the outside of a leather trumpet case, which encases the instrument in itself, which is kind of like the fragrance in this case. Around the back, we have an original melody of mine, which actually George was like, you should put a melody on the back. And it was very simple. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I chose one. We put it there, and here it is. And
that's a composition of yours, right?
Yes, I composed.
Wrote this.
Yeah, if you play music, you would start here, and it would read around.
Do you
this
happen
way.
to have your trumpet around, and you can play it for us?
Or can you hum it?
Come on, yes.
Can you hum it?
He doesn't go anywhere without that trumpet. I would knock on his door at like 1 a.m. for something, and I hear he had his silencer on, and I can hear him warm it up.
He locks the door with the trumpet, probably.
He's always got
I have across the room if you'd like me to grab it.
Let's do it.
We can wait for you, yeah.
Okay. I'll be back in.
Because probably
9
that will
seconds.
be the very first time
1 second.
when we get to actually listen to that melody.
Exactly.
That'll be beautiful. In the meantime, how about you, Ross? What was the idea? Because probably I'm not sure if it was easier for Andrea and for Justin because they really vested into music. So probably it was easier for them. Okay, let's wait. Okay, let's go ahead, Justin.
Okay, yeah, real simple melody. So I'll just play it for you. Yeah, just very simple. And in fact, I have a recording of the song that this comes from on Spotify. The song is called Deep Dive. So that's where the melody comes from. So you can actually hear it in the context of the band.
Do you know what I wanted to do, guys? I think we had talked about it early on. I wanted to do it that when you open the case like this, you would hear Andrea sing. You would have the melody of Justin, and then Ross would be telling, his story, and it was just very, very challenging when it comes to making the box and making sure that it fits and it doesn't jiggle. It needed a lot of other things than just that. But I wish I would have. It's called Deep Dive.
It is. I actually found it here.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. You will recognize that.
And it's quite an interesting title for a song, right? That what we're doing is just diving in deep with all of this.
That's right. Yeah, it worked perfectly. I didn't really think of it that deeply, pun intended, when I chose the song, but as soon as I chose it, I'm like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And ran with it. So
it really makes sense.
Here's the bottle. And you saw it floating around in the other screens already. But I just love the colors. The colors, obviously, the box itself is very simple, black, but you get a glimpse of what's inside with these splashes of this kind of copper colorway here, which obviously comes through a lot more with the bottle, with the cap here, which is, I think, was a new color for the caps here. And we have, obviously, the same color for the logo. And this logo itself, which you'll get a clear glimpse of on the box. This was also in collaboration with George and with his in-house graphic designer. His name is David, and does incredible work. And they had this fantastic idea of turning the trumpet into soul, which I think it just came out perfectly. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And in music, we call this a treble clef, and using that as an ampersand sign, which I thought was very creative. It's like you see it, and even if you don't know what this symbol is, even though most people have seen it before, you the brain automatically realize, like, yeah, that's supposed to represent and, which I thought was just very well done. And of course, brass is kind of done in this like 1970s style, almost like Soul Train vibes, which obviously deals with the music. And then of course we have my little logo here. We went through a few renditions of that, what would represent Stay Fresh Productions. But the color of the juice here is kind of, representing a bit of a cocktail in a way. I wanted it to be at first I was thinking more of a red, but that wasn't going to work because of staining. And also George was getting ready to come out with rosé, and we had to be very careful. Like, we don't want these two fragrances to look the same in terms of color. So we did settle on this color, which I think is beautiful. And I think it's a great contrast with the copper here. And then of course, on the side, we got to have the collaboration, which is just wonderfully etched in here for life. So that is the presentation for Brass and Soul.
Justin, what do you say to people who say, I kind of pictured something more smoky, more this, more that? What do you say to people that...
Get him, Justin.
This doesn't sound Justin. I thought Justin, knowing Justin, I thought that this would smell more like... And then whatever. What do you say about that? What say you?
I need some water before I answer this. It really comes down to a fundamental question that is easily overlooked when that statement is made. And the question is, do you actually know me? Like, when people in another part of the world are like, well, through watching your videos, I figured this is who you are. And it's like, do you know me though? Honestly, yeah, there's been a lot of that. Not a lot. There's been a few of those statements being made. It's like, oh, it's not what I expected from you. And that just simply, to me, is evidence that, okay, these people thought that they knew who I was, but obviously we haven't even really seen each other in real life. So they can't know me, and that's okay. And this pertains to any fragrance from anybody. I think you can't go in with the preconceived notion. It's very hard to not do that, especially like if some kind of fragrance is announced, whether it's associated with a person that you know or associated with a brand that you are a fan of. And you see the note breakdown, and you see the presentation, and you even see like, oh, what else the brand has done. To go in thinking like this is going to be just like everything else I've imagined or have experienced, you are already bottlenecking yourself to have a very limited experience, and at the worst, be let down because you're now not open to something different and new.
But
so, yeah.
Like, I think from this side, like watching constantly all your videos, probably the other phase will be like, I'll get to know them better.
Yeah, that would be the hope, right? It's like, this is a piece of me, and this might be new to you, but just know that I'm not lying to you. This is me. If you know who I was in real life, you know, in my videos, I can come across, I guess, very, as Max Forte likes to say, calm, cool, and collected.
Not come across. Wait a minute.
Yeah. What's
He
that?
is very calm, cool, and collected.
Yes, and that is a part of me.
You are that.
That is a part of my, of just you know, my being. I really, I run at a fairly low but robust frequency, I would say. You know,
presence. It's all about presence with Justin.
Deep down, I am a clown.
Oh yeah,
I am a total clown. I want people to laugh. I get that from my mother. She is a clown, and I get that from her. If you really watch my videos and you watch the editing that I do and just how silly I make them and how I created a whole persona for myself.
I love Justin from the past.
Yes, exactly. It's like that. That's pretty representative right there. I think there's a lightness to me, but I do feel like there's also a darkness, and I feel like it is represented here. So that's the best way I can describe that. That's a great question, Jordan.
I have to piggyback off of that real quick, because if y'all watched his video of the three of us today, standing next to him while he's
the Roger.
Okay, it doesn't look the same when it's not edited on screen. When you're standing next to him and you're just thinking, God, I can't wait to see how it's going to come out, because he's ready and he starts convulsing, and he is a clown. He's hilarious. I have no idea,
because I already have in my mind like what I'm going to do to this. I'll do whatever I have to do in the space, as crazy as it is, but when it's on screen, it's going to be pristine.
It was hilarious. It came out great. But at the time, I'm thinking, God, I can't wait to see what he's going to do with this, because it looks ridiculous.
Yep.
Justin, you're deceiving people.
Yes, I'm deceiving.
Everybody thinks you're just this laid back, just chill all the time.
No, well, I mean, but here's the thing. This doesn't just apply to me. This applies to all of you guys as well. For any of us who makes videos, or it's like, it's one small avenue of our personality, of our life. And obviously we've done it hundreds of times, so where people have seen us on screen hundreds of times. And with the information that we give them, whether it's what we're actually saying or how we're saying things and how we present ourselves on camera, people start to piece together a little puzzle of who they think we are. And this is spread across any platform where you're, you know, consuming content, dealing with a person you don't know. And based on what they show you, you're like, oh, yeah, I know them. It's like, no, you don't. You know one dimension, which is when that camera turns on and how they choose to present themselves. There are definitely people on YouTube who turn the camera on and you get every dimension. That is definitely a thing where there's no filter. They don't hold back. It's like you meet them in real life, like, oh, yeah, this is exactly how I see you in the videos. You see everything. But it's not always that way. So I just think that people need to be more open-minded when it comes to watching someone's life on a screen and realizing, like, I'm not seeing the whole of their being right now. There's so much more. You see like 30 minutes that was filmed down and edited to 20 minutes. That's it. And then the rest of our days that we do outside of filming, I mean, it's so dynamic. So, but again, I do truly believe that my personality, you know, in my style of how I present myself has refined itself over time in terms of how I present it. Not so much, again, in what I say, but it's laced in many other things. Again, my editing, you know, which has a lightness to it. I'm always making fun of myself and saying I'm stupid and all that stuff. You know, that there's a levity to that. So I just think, I thought it was clear as day. but you know, but I get it. I totally understand where people were coming from when they're like, oh, but you talk, we have a deep voice, and you're like, ugh, and you seem like, some people say I'm high or asleep in half my videos. So they expected something very dark and almost just like a phantom fragrance in the shadows from the depths of smoke and tobacco. Yeah. I mean,
they expected a bong hit and a bottle. That's what they were looking for.
I mean, if we do this again, maybe I'll go a darker route. We'll see. I'll give people what they want, but I feel like I gave people who I am, so that's all I can do.
As do I.
That's beautiful, because what I was saying, probably people will get to understand you better now, and your other side, because sometimes when we speak between reviewers and content creators, we don't know what the other one is going through in the personal life, which could be totally different from what you actually convey on your videos, and that's something like you really put really well, that people has to understand that we have kind of different aspects in our lives. And Ross, I wanted to ask you now, like we spoke about the siren, we spoke about brass and soul. How about you? Because I was thinking before doing this live, like for them probably it was easier because they're into music. You know, Andrea, the siren, and brass and soul. You know, the trumpet. It's like you can really pinpoint really clearly. But how about you? Like I know you are into video games, but what's the explanation
So when I got off the phone with George, I had the name and the majority of the notes I wanted immediately.
Like that.
I probably had my fragrance before everyone. I can't verify that unless we have a conversation about it, but I knew what I wanted to make that night. I have the piece of paper. I think it's right here. I have the original piece of paper. I'm not going to dig through. But after we got off the phone,
we can wait. We wwaited for Justin's trumpet.
But you got 9 seconds because that's all they gave me.
9 seconds.
I'm playing, man.
So there's the brief. I keep everything close. I got first renditions. Beautiful. I've got sketches.
So people can actually like see all the work behind a fragrance, because sometimes, and I've seen some reviews of people like seeing like there's no, you know, whatever, all the criticism behind that, but there's a lot of work behind that.
So as with Justin, how people assumed one thing, everybody assumed I would make a blue fragrance. I'm kind of the blue fragrance guy. That's kind of how I'm known, you know, and I get it. But at the same time, I was really getting into iris. Iris is my favorite note in fragrances. And my goal immediately was I wanted to make an iris fragrance I did not have. I have a lot of iris fragrances. And I wanted to make sure there was zero chance of Dior Homme and Prada L'Homme comparisons and all of that. So I wanted to make something spicier and woodier, and I didn't want a waxy quality. The lipstick stuff everybody talks about. I didn't want that. I didn't want super soapy. But I was in the luxury market of sales at the time. I'm very professional scent forward with my taste. I do like some daring things and some more out the box stuff. But I mainly like the safer office style fragrance, something that's just easygoing, can work in any situation, not really going to upset anybody, because in a professional setting, there's professional settings where you can't even wear a fragrance for risk of offending noses or sensitive noses and stuff like that. So I wanted to make something that anybody that works in a climate controlled situation can really get some serious use out of. I wanted versatility. I wanted ease of wear. And that was pretty much what I got here. The scent profile was built to not be really out there, but last you your workday. That's what I really wanted to achieve here, was something noticeable and present, but not loud and in your face, to really fit the story I was telling. I was telling the story of a business professional. So the whole deal with the playing card design was, actually I have those rough sketches right here. So I wanted something, I already knew I wanted to call it business over pleasure. And I really wanted something that represented business and something that represented casual. That was very important to me. So we'll actually get to this part. So I started sketching different things. So here you'll see a suit and tie.
Okay.
Here you'll see a polo shirt unbuttoned with a necklace. More casual, more laid back. And I just kept coming up with these different ideas. Here's something I had, kind of a wooden desk kind of thing, or I wasn't really sure, but kind of beach, like to give George the idea of my premise, because his in-house graphic designer was who made what we ultimately ended up using. Shout out to David. If David happens to see this, he is incredible at what he does. So I submitted these sketches to George, and he came back to me with this Jack of Spades right here. And he told me the idea, and it brought to life the split that I kept coming back to of business and casual. And I thought it was brilliant because during the big poker boom in the early 2000s, that was a very big part of my life. I used to play in the World Series of Poker tournaments. I mean, I never won one of them, but cash games, the whole gambling scene, I was hardcore into it at one point in my life. And I'm a risk taker. I have the theme in my life of life is a gamble. I like to take risks. If I can see a justifiable reward possibility, I'll take the risk. I live my life that way. That's who I am, especially professionally. So it made sense to tell that story with this fragrance. And then George came back to me with, this was one of the early renditions. So he took that playing card, and instead of it just being me on both sides, it was brilliant to showcase the collaboration. You have him in the suit, and then my signature flat bill hat, because anybody that watches me, you know, I wear a lot of flat bill hats. It's kind of my thing in my videos.
Like a news thing. Life is a gamble. I love that quote.
Yeah, that's because life is a gamble. Every decision you make, you're assessing a risk. If you're conscious of what you're doing, you're assessing the risk versus reward with every decision you make.
Totally true. Do you guys remember that you were speaking about a fragrance reviewer that is so beautiful, and George was smitten by her beauty? We got her here, and yeah.
She's in the house. There she is.
Sarah is in the house here, and she's actually got
Thank you.
a bottle. Welcome, Sarah. How are you?
I'm well. Yourself?
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Good.
So you got the fragrances.
I have the fragrances. I do. I have all of the fragrances.
Olfactophiles, your favorite reviewer's favorite reviewer.
And I have the rosé, which is amazing. They're all amazing.
Oh, rosé is amazing. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to completely agree with what Ross was just saying. So I'm super into iris. That's like one of my favorite notes. And I thus have a ton of iris fragrances, but I don't have any that smell like business over pleasure. And I really love it. I love all of them. But yeah, like iris is like one of the notes that I have, probably besides vanilla. Vanilla I have tons, and then it's probably rose and iris are the next ones that I have a ton of. And I even have like a lot of woody irises, and this doesn't smell like any of them, which is really awesome. And just, yeah, really, really great and enjoyable. I love them all. They're amazing. You guys did a fantastic job, and the packaging on all of them is just amazing. I'm blown away, completely blown away.
Thank you, Sarah.
I actually said this to George yesterday on the phone, and your video was the benchmark for what made me say this to him, actually. This was completely by accident, but if you were to just buy this collection, you have a completely diverse fragrance wardrobe.
Yeah, for sure.
This was by accident. We did not decide, hey, I'm going to make a work fragrance. Well, I'm going to make a dark fragrance.
Yeah.
It just shook out that way. This is a collection in every sense of the word.
Yep.
It's as diverse as it gets. George Mon wanted diversity. They got diversity. It's crazy how it worked out. It was totally by accident.
Yeah, completely.
You know?
And I was going to ask you that, guys. Did you know what the other one was working on? Did you get any briefing? Did you get any like hints, or were you probably privately talking to each other? Oh, I'm doing this. I'm having trouble with this.
So the only thing was when we first started, we wanted to make sure that none of the fragrances were similar to each other. Apart from that, I think we did like a text message group or email of what each other was going to do, and that was it. From that point on, I didn't smell the fragrance until it was filled in the bottles. I wanted to give them 100% complete reign over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were also not talking with each other. It wasn't, we actually became like friends after everything was done. And we had the very first meeting where we were gonna smell each other's fragrances, and that was the beginning of the relationship we have right now. And so we had no idea, like the fragrances were done already, and then we had the first meeting. Hi guys, so this is what I did. Basically, we presented our fragrance and our
nervous wrecks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hanging on an edge. Like, okay, what are they going to say? What are they going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've been working on it, each of our fragrances for almost a year by that point in isolation.
Yeah.
And again, it came time for show and tell. So, all right, this is my book report. I did a report on Harry Potter and the Goblet of, like, you know, it's just like we're exposing everything. And it's like, and then as Ross said, just kind of naturally working in our own lanes, keeping our heads down. When it came time to present, we realized, like, oh, they're all completely different.
They're
Like,
all good for different settings,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
If you're into this, which people that are into this, you use this for this and this for that, like we all do.
Mhm.
This collection worked out that way. And to piggyback off of what Andrea was saying, we were all friends prior, but the last 6 months we became a family.
Yeah.
That's when we started. We talk every single day. We got through the creative process, and when it came down to discussing manufacturing and marketing, we were able to enjoy each other's company more because we weren't focused on creating anymore.
Yeah.
Creation was done.
And Anthony and Andrea and everyone, they were troopers, because it would be like, I need you guys to fly in next week Monday, and then they went back to
Life is a
Boston,
gamble.
and then they came back to Chicago, and I mean they were it's incredible, you guys. It's incredible. It really is incredible what we've been able to do. And like you said, Javier, and Javier knows a little bit of the kind of the arc that I went through, and they stood with me in the project. And I think that the one that was, they were all very focused, but Andrea was like, you know, she gets that from her father. I learned a little bit about her, and yeah, razor sharp. All of them were great. And Tara, thank you for being on with us too. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge and
Oh
say
yeah, of course.
Tara, if you have a question, just fire away.
Okay, I will.
As well.
Yeah, I was thinking. So George, you said you didn't smell them at all until they were bottled. Like,
No.
how much stress did you have? Like, that would just make me so like anxious the whole time.
the one thing that I did not do with any of them is I wanted them. I don't want to make it seem like it's Khashoggi or Daddy Warbucks, but
Right.
never once did I did not want to tell them I can't do it because of cost. And so money was never mentioned in any of this. And I think that, you know, because there's you're doing a whole bunch of things, and you have a financial outlay of capital that has to go out. And then, you know, it's just normal businessman anxiety of like, oh my God, you know, like, and I think when Andrea and Anthony came to Chicago, actually, no, did you guys ever feel like it was a stress? It was a stress, like, we have to get it out there. We gotta, but no, actually, I didn't. No, I believed in this so much, Tara, that I don't know. I said, this is the future, whether or not people accept it, whether or not people are going to buy. And I've said this to them too. I go, listen, if it doesn't sell, it's okay. Everything is okay. It doesn't matter. I don't want anyone to stress. I want everyone to have fun and have a good time with it. And I knew that no matter what happens, I think that this is going to be the catalyst. I don't know. This is the future of fragrance. This is where it's going. And I just wanted to be a part of that. We all did.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome to have that kind of faith. And I mean, I would have trusted all of these people as well, but still, I feel like that would just be like, maybe the anticipation would make me like really anxious, because I'd be like, I want to see what they came up with. I want to try it. So yeah, that would be hard to do. To be hands up.
Then what? Like, so, like, the reason why I didn't want that is because I didn't want this to be. I didn't want one person to tell the other. You know what I mean? Like, no one but in each other's business. So that's why it's done. It's packaged. It's bottled. It's done. And no matter what, you created it, and it's. Because then you start mind fucking yourself. You start second guessing yourself. And maybe I should have done this. Justin, I didn't imagine you to create a fragrance like that. Then Justin goes, well, it should have been too dark. But then you have Justin and this is from experience for myself, and I said that to Justin. I told Justin that people, when you're creating something, people want to put their 2 cents in there and then start steering you in a different direction. I could say, Justin, I thought you were going to go darker. No, this is what I have. But Justin, I thought blah blah. No, this is what I have, and that's, you got to stand in your truth. You got to stand in your creative energy, and this is
right.
it.
Yeah, it's like, it sounds like you're telling me what you want to create. When people say that, it's like, go ahead and do it. I want to see it.
Yeah. So you were talking about that earlier, Justin, and I watched a couple of reviews that they mentioned that, and I was like, well, do you know his taste in fragrance? Like, do you know, like I don't know. I mean, I don't, like, I've never met you in real life or anything, but I wasn't surprised at all, by the way. It smelled, I was like, oh yeah, this smells like something Justin would wear based on the things I know that you tend to really like and you use often. You know, you have like videos where you talk about the fragrances used the most throughout the year. And I was like, yeah, this is in that style. Like, this is fits kind of his vibe and the things that he tends to like. And I thought it fit the story too, of like, you know, you starts off a little cooler and then kind of warms up as it goes. And so I don't know, I wasn't surprised at all, but yeah, I think maybe it's like people imposing what they want into fragrance. And,
I mean, you're just observant. That's all that is. Because
my thoughts.
But they're like, oh, I thought it was darker. It's too fresh. And it says on the side of the bottle.
Stay fresh.
That's what I was going to say. My thoughts when I was seeing all this stuff, all I could think was, do you watch Justin's videos? Because he kind of leans towards the fresh fougere style and fresher fragrances. Stay Fresh Productions, the Fresh Squad.
Right. Yeah. He posted like a long time ago when Justin and you all were like hinting at maybe you would have fragrances and stuff like that. He posted something like, what do you think a fragrance would be if I made one? And I was like, I don't know, but it's going to be fresh to death.
I remember that comment, actually.
Yes, I remember that.
Yep, I remember that comment. Yeah. Because we all did little polls on our community page.
Yeah.
That was all planned. We get together and like, all right, what do we want to do this week?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
There's these Spanish.
Javier, there's one more thing I want to say, and then I'll let you guys go because
go ahead.
The one thing that we all are is we're so grateful to the community for allowing us to do this project, for accepting us, for bringing us into not only buying a product, but inviting us into their hearts, on their dressers. Like this was a huge. I'll let everyone speak for themselves, but I know I speak for all of them, right? Thanking the community. Thank you for having us. Thank you so much, because by supporting this, I think that it helped us, but I think it's going to create change. I think that this is going to be something that's going to shake things up. And so thank you to everybody. Thank you for having me. Please continue. I just got to go do what I was doing, and I love you guys, okay?
Love you, Georgie.
We're actually wrapping up at 1 hour 30, so probably these are the last 10 minutes. Bye, George. So actually, I was going to tell you guys that this guy, Mr. Niche Parfum, he's a content creator as well, and although he doesn't understand any English, he just wanted to tell you that he really likes your content. He follows you all, and yeah, he's really happy that you guys are here. This turned out to be like full English, but yeah. Otherwise, I think like if we were translating, we'll be losing a lot of time, right?
Sure.
So, how did your families take the news that I don't know? You call your mom and you tell them like, "Mom, do you know that I'm a content creator? Oh yeah, you and your bloody fragrances." And then guess what? I'm doing a bloody one. I'm doing mine. Mm-hmm. How did your families react to that?
Any takers?
You can go.
I guess me then. So my mom's been very supportive of this. In the beginning, she's always kind of had an inkling of how into fragrances I was long before they really knew how into fragrances I was. And she was not really surprised as much as I had a feeling this might happen for you one day, because when it comes to you, you try to make stuff happen, which I couldn't make this happen on my own. This is not something you can just decide tomorrow and say, hey, I'm gonna make a niche fragrance, and I'm gonna have this expensive presentation. It's anybody can mix some oils, but not everybody can, understand the true balance and have all the things that these master perfumers have. So my mom was, like I said, it cracked me up. She's like, I'm actually kind of not surprised. And then when I told her it was with George, she said, well, that makes sense. George seems like the type to want to do something like that. And she asked, the dynamics, and I told her, and she was just super excited. She posted her bottles today on Facebook, as a matter of fact. And it starts off as one proud mama here.
She's very proud.
Yeah, because I sent her and my stepdad each a bottle. And and it's just one of those things where when your family gets you, it's easy. There's no surprises when it comes to this stuff. When you display your passion for something, it's infectious. It's your aura. It's your energy, and everybody can understand it. And that was kind of the situation with telling my mother. Anyways,
How about you, Andrea?
Well, my mom, she knew it since I was a kid, because I will run up to her and I'll be like, you know what, Mom, one day I'm going to become a singer. I will have my own fragrance, because I was fascinated by, like the singers, Britney Spears and Beyonce having their own fragrance. I'm like, I'm a singer too. I can have a fragrance. So that was one of the things that she knew I wanted to do that one day. But I'm sure she wasn't expecting it. Obviously, she lives in Cyprus. It's a small island, so things like that don't come often, like opportunities like that. So when I first told her, "Oh, Mom, and Dad, I'm making a fragrance," my dad was like, nice. I don't think we really understood what this is, until I sent them a little sample a few months ago. I didn't tell them what it was, if it was my fragrance or not, because sometimes I do send them a little niche fragrances to get their noses a little bit exposed to new things. And so my dad loved it. He was wearing it in the dead of summer. We're talking about how many degrees is 43 degrees?
That's well over 100.
Yeah, it's over 100.
Like super hot. And my fragrance is not for like hot weather. But he's blasting it, at work. And the old ladies are coming to him. Oh my God, you smell amazing. So then they will come to me. I got a compliment today.
You seem thrilled about it, Dad.
And when he said that to you, did you look at him? Were y'all FaceTiming?
Oh, no, it was over a text, and I called him. And what happened? Let me give you the lady so she can tell you herself.
The reason I'm saying that, I got a compliment today. You should have went, nice.
Very bland with his expressions, but they're very happy and excited, and they cannot wait to get their bottle. So, yeah. What about yours?
Mine? I think they're a little disconnected from the fragrance world. My dad is into it, but if anything is remotely sweet or heavy and not super fresh, hates it. So I sent it to him as well. And he was like analyzing it the whole day, and he was just like, he was trying to be nice about it, but he really didn't like it. I'm like, Dad, I told you you're gonna hate it. I told them months ago you're gonna hate our fragrance. You will not like it. But they're very supportive.
Yeah.
My mom just got rosé, which she loves. She's spraying it around the house and on herself, and using the soap. So
rosé is beautiful.
Yeah.
My uncle called me today, because I sent him a package. He got rosé and Business Over Pleasure. He told me, I'd tell you if I didn't like it because it's you, and it's amazing, yada yada yada. He's like, but man, I can't get down with the rose. I said, you're the first person to tell me that. Yeah. You were the first. I think it's a masterpiece. You're the first person to say that to me.
It's amazing.
It is. How about for you, Justin? When you told your parents, your brothers, Grace?
Yeah, my brother. I have a twin brother, and he has been a part of my YouTube journey since basically the beginning. I had him in a video, I want to say maybe 2 months after I started the channel. And he's been in several videos since. And I've slowly gotten him into the hobby a little bit. He's not collecting or anything, but his nose is developing. I send him little niche sample packs every now and then, just, surprising him. And so obviously when he found out, he was like, finally, like, it's about time. Like, yes. But at the same time, it's like, no, it hasn't been that long, but Yeah, it's great. My parents, it's funny. It's like, it's very ironic. My dad does not wear fragrance at all, at least not anymore. But he was so excited about it. My mom wears perfume every day, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's nice." Yeah. Again, she was like, "Yeah." She's one of those people where it's like, I'll be excited when I see it, kind of thing. And then when it
now
came
I know
out,
where you get it from.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she bought 2 bottles of it, so she was like, "Oh, this is great." So yeah, overall, a lot of support, and they're just like, we can't wait to see it. So.
Guys, y'all couldn't wipe that man's smile off his face when his parents' cards came up for their orders. They both ordered.
Yeah.
You couldn't wipe that smile. Was ear to ear.
I was so happy. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up at 1 hour and a half, and to finish this up, I want to do this dynamic. Like, if you could only describe each other with just one word, what would that be?
Wow.
Like, let's start
that man
with,
threw the challenge down. Okay.
With Ross.
Of course, I'm not. The one time I'm not ready with something.
You seem always ready, man.
I usually am. I pride myself on trying to be ready. I'm usually pretty quick and witty. That's hard to do because there's so many things that make these people wonderful. Tara included. It's not that easy to just describe them in one word because there's so many words. Andrea is bright, present, and has a strong presence. She is a very strong woman. This is why I said earlier, you don't fuck with the siren. You don't upset Andrea. That's how that works. Anthony is an absolute character. If I can do one word, Anthony is a character. Y'all have no idea. No, very, very meticulous, very to the point. Like George was saying earlier, they strive for excellence, and I am super proud of what they did because, I mean, I'm a bit more laid back, but they strived for absolute excellence, and that's another word that fits both of them is excellence. And with Justin, my man, dude, I don't know how to describe you in one word, man. There's so many good words that fit. Obviously, cool is going to be the first word that comes to everybody's mind because he's one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. And if I'm going to stick with one word, that's probably the most fitting. But I think articulate is a great word for Justin. Because as you saw when he was speaking earlier, he's so articulate and he's so good at articulating his thoughts, and he's smooth about it. He never misses a beat. He never stumbles on his words. It's just nice and steady, and he's very, very easy to listen to. Articulate, I think, is a great word.
Damn.
I mean, that's my honest thoughts. It's hard to just put one word without defining why I use that word,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Terry, would you like to be included in this?
Goodness.
Because dynamic is what comes to mind for Tara. Dynamic.
Thank you.
Very dynamic. Because Tara just found out for the first time the other day. I watch every video she puts out. I just don't comment on a lot of people's stuff. The only person that I comment on everything they do. I don't know if he's below me on y'all's screen, but it's him. No offense to anyone. I like goofing off in his comments. Something about a Stay Fresh production or Fresh Squad.
Oh, is this another Stay Fresh production?
Count me in.
I think it is, Ross. Yes, I think it is. I'm not sure. I'll let you know when it's over. Wow.
Okay, let's do it with Andrea. One word for each of these gents.
Good luck.
You need to help me with this one. So I'm gonna start with Ross.
Oh God.
Ross. To me, Ross is older brother that I don't have. Like I really see a brother figure in him, and also like I don't know, like when we're together, when we hang out, he's always the one who drives us around. He's always the careful one, kind of like a protector.
That's who I am.
The protective energy. We are the crazy ones, and he's like, children.
That's because somebody can't be at the car on time in the mornings.
And we never will, Ross. We never will.
Yeah. Hey, you get there before she does.
And also very, very supportive. He's a big hug. That's what you are, a big hug to everybody. You want to add something?
Kind of what you said. Ross just has his shit together. He's all like Justin. He's also very smooth, and you just feel like he knows what he's doing, where he's going, what he's doing. So
yeah,
I appreciate it, guys.
Justin, before I met you, I thought you were the coolest, most calm, quiet guy. You're very mellow and you're very slow.
I'm just talking wind. Yes.
Listen, I fool you. It's all a front. I'm telling you.
he's an imposter.
He's a lie.
You're an imposter. Man, seriously, all of us, we cannot stop laughing. You are the biggest clown, yes. Okay, you're a crazy.
I thought I liked to crack jokes.
Crazy, he's crazy in the best way possible, though.
Yes.
He's hilarious, and you're very sensitive in terms of how you handle everything. You have a very gentle sensitivity to everything that you do, from everything. You're the I don't know how to say it in English, but he's the gentle, crazy energy in the room. You know, you're like you
just
have
the
both.
creative in the room.
You have both, always. You want to laugh, go to Justin. You want to hear a joke, go to Justin. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You can always tell, because it's funny that you say that, because yes, he is the biggest clown, but he's also the most calculated with his words.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot from the hip like me. I'm Brett Favre and he's Tom Brady. It's like, and he's more calculated, going to pick you apart.
And now let's do it with Anthony. How would you describe them?
So I did Ross already. I was gonna Justin.
Don't tell everybody that.
Justin is, aside from being the biggest clown I know, he's very kind. He's a very kind person. I tend to get heated easily, and I show my emotions, and if something's not working out, I get a little amped up about it. And Justin's just like, well, let's figure out a way that we can resolve this problem. And then all is well in the world.
Yes.
Again.
Oh man, that was almost a spot-on impression too. Like, the mannerisms were there and everything.
You're right. I do look up a lot. I look up a whole lot. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I always find it.
How about you, Justin? How would you describe these three guys?
Yeah.
Wait, Javi. He needs to describe me.
I know, that's what I was about to say.
I don't want to put him into trouble.
She is fierce.
You stole my word.
Yes.
Stole my word.
Back to the drawing board, Justin.
Old trick, the old trick, Justin. Oh, you stole my word.
Yeah, she keeps me in line, and she's the best sidekick ever. And
Aww.
and Tara's the sweetheart, right?
She's the biggest sweetheart. Yeah.
Thank you.
She's very sweet indeed.
The very first time we get to face to face, online talk, like I can see to me, So yeah, yes, the biggest sweetheart ever.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Okay, Justin, your turn. You're not gonna get away.
Okay, well, if I'll start with Anthony. Anthony is also quite a bit of a clown.
Big time.
In fact, we get on this wavelength, and we just we're like the same person for a second, and it's amazing. But also, and I think this kind of pertains to the both of you as a unit. Very I would often look to you guys about in terms of being strategic with this whole process. There's a calculatedness to how you do things, and there's assessing a lot of things, a lot of elements. And I mean, and what George had said earlier about excellence. No, I think that was you, Ross. Excellence and how it just kind of exudes from everything you guys do together.
That's very true.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, Andrea, I would agree, fierce for sure. I feel like you wear your heart like here. It's just, everything is here. Everything is like, especially when it came time, when things were heated, like when we're texting and it's like something is wrong or off, and it just like, you're going to let us know how you feel immediately. But at the same time, you would often kind of reel us back in. It's because George could go off the deep end sometimes. He'd be like, and you would kind of reel things back in. It's like, no, guys are going to be fine. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that's that fierceness that would kind of come through with a lot of clarity. Yeah, that's what would come to mind now. I could talk on and on, but we'll go with that.
She's definitely took the mother hen role.
Yeah.
A lot of the marketing and stuff like that came from that mind right there.
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
It was a collided mind. It was one.
Oh, that's the man that made all the footage right there. Oh yeah,
that's right. Ross, definitely passionate is a word I would use to describe Ross. Maybe sometimes stubbornly so, in terms of like when you have your mind set on something, or you love something, anything that comes against that, it's like you start shooting from the hip a little bit, just to like get back. Me. Like this, it's but passion in such a good way, especially when it comes to this project, and you're always expressing your gratitude for the opportunity, and I was really feeling that from you every time you'd say it. I'm like, man, yeah, he's like, it's overflowing. And that was really, a blessing to kind of witness, for sure. That's what I would say for now, for the sake of time, I think. And Tara is just a ray of sunshine. How about that? Like you came on and like my screen got brighter. My sunglasses.
See, I thought the sun was coming back out, but
let's do this.
Oh goodness! Oh,
but really, I also really do appreciate your. You're so honest with how you present reviews on YouTube. You're just like,
try to be,
but balanced, beautifully balanced. Like, this thing, but I like this. It's like I always feel like I get that from your reviews, and it's.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this, Tara, as well?
I will do it.
Okay.
I will do. Yes, I will take on this challenge.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to start with you, Javi, because nobody's done you yet.
No, I'm just the moderator and interviewer.
Hey, you invited me into this challenge. I'm doing it the way I want. Okay.
All right. Sure. Fair enough.
So, Javi, you are just like so down to earth and so kind and supportive at all times. So I would say, like, whenever I think of you, I just think of somebody who's like a rock. Like, you're always there to support people, and you just always make my day better anytime I've ever talked to you. So yeah, you're just like a rock. Don't cry. Okay. Anthony, I just think he's like so entertaining. Like, he always cracks me up every time that I watch him. And so for him, I think Justin kind of said he's also, he clowns around and stuff, but I agree. I think he's like an entertainer completely. Yes. Andrea, she's significantly younger than me, just to be very clear. She's a lot younger than me, but I look up to her. She's like a role model because she has all of those traits that I would want, like, in any woman. Like, she's strong, she's eloquent, she's smart, she, isn't afraid to like take things on. So I would just say, like, for her, that she's just kind of like a role model. I know it's two words, but we're going to combine it into one term. For Ross, I very much agree with what Andrea said, but Ross is just like, he's always looking out for people. He has everybody's backs. He takes everything that he has, like in terms of his own passion, but also uses it to lift other people up, which I think is really great. So I think he's like a big supporter, maybe would be the word there to use, because it's like he doesn't just want success for himself. He wants success for everyone, and he will do what he can to help everybody achieve that.
I appreciate that, because I want this community to stay a community. I take the community part serious. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then Justin, I know the best out of all these people here. But he's just like you said, there's just so many amazing words you could use. I'm going to go the comedy route and use the word that most of my viewers use when they talk about him. And he is sexy.
Somewhere, Grace is watching this, nodding and smiling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think the world of Justin.
My face is warm. My face is warm.
You look like a red tomato.
Oh, God. No, I think the world of Justin, and he's like so brilliant and supportive and kind and caring and, like I said, eloquent and even keeled and just funny and everything. But that's the word that's most frequently used on my channel when people talk about him.
I believe it.
True.
Tara. Okay. Wow.
Breathe.
I can't stay serious for too long. I gotta make people laugh.
How about one word that could describe George? And I will start with one, like, to me, being so far away from the US and realizing how kind George has been for this community, I would say friend. That'll be my word for George.
Mm-hmm.
How about
I would say,
you?
Gosh, George is an anomaly. Like, he's one of the only people I feel like I've really come across where everything that comes out of his mouth is sincere, true, and just real. Like, real. I think real is the word I would use to describe George. Just obviously he's been through a lot in his life, especially in just this industry, and he brings so much experience and wisdom, and he tells it to us straight. Like, he's like, and that might involve some F-bombs, but it's just so real. So that's the word I would use.
Dude, you guys, let me grab.
Us. I have one word, just one, that really sounds everything. He is an elevator. Like every
very good word.
I hear the word elevation. Let's elevator equals George. That's it.
Yes.
He's a loving elevator.
Yes. I'll add to it. George is extremely caring. Also, what Justin said, he's very wise. We've had so many instances where I was very outspoken within the project, and then George would just lay some wisdom on me. I'd be like, well, damn. I'm constantly learning from him, and in the most caring way. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Ross.
Okay. How about you, Ross?
Well, how can I put Georgie into one word? I think the most fitting word is unicorn.
Yes.
There's no other George Zaharoff.
Yes.
If you don't like George Zaharoff, you're the fucking problem.
Yes. Agreed.
True. So true.
I mean, I was sitting here. I was hoping I wouldn't have to go first so I could really calculate how I wanted to put this because, you know, no offense to anyone else in this chat, but that man deserves the right word. That man has been great, you know, and to everyone in the community, he's a friend to anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
And generosity is another great fitting word for him because he gives from his heart. He doesn't expect anything in return. He loves to love. You know what I mean?
So true.
But unicorn, I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah. One of a kind.
That's hard to follow up, man. You nailed it.
Yeah.
But I would say that if I had to pick a single word for George, it would probably be he's an advocate. I feel like he will do anything to make something right if it's wrong, and he will like help anyone who needs help.
Here he comes.
Oh, there he is.
Lounge
I just feel like
I'm
he just
sorry,
lifts everyone up.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Tara. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I just feel like you lift everyone up, and anybody who is like going through a hard time, you're always there to help to bring them back up
true.
and to absolutely, and to try to fix anything that you possibly can for them, even though it's not your thing to fix. You do. And I think it's just amazing. So like I said, I think Ross's word is perfect, but I'll add that.
Thank you. I'm
George.
I'm wearing my thing, but I was listening to each of you. Now it's my turn, okay?
Oh my God.
I don't know you that well, Tara, but I keep going to stunning. You're smart. It's just, I'm just smitten with you.
Oh,
when it comes to Justin, all I picture is smooth as silk. Like it's like taking a hot knife with a frozen stick of butter and it goes right through his soul. That's Justin. Anthony reminds me of myself when I was his age, and I think that's how we connect with. We connect. The thing with Anthony and Andrea, because there were some instances that were, little I don't know, sparks, but it's because they're passionate and they wanted excellence. And when you go into manufacturing and production, there's a fine line between the two. And so I hope that when, and by the way, the sparks were very few, and it went away very quickly. But I hope that I wanted to explain to him, because what you see, Anthony, was George Zaharoff at his age. And so I hope, whenever he had a question or wanted to say something, I hope I gave him the answer, because I went through most of it. But Anthony, something about Anthony that's very, I got to get back to Anthony. Let me think about this.
Okay.
Andrea has my heart. Andrea is the siren, she's sweet, she's beautiful, she's got a voice. And I was happy that I've got to spend some time with her and learn about where she comes from, her story. She gets her toughness. I don't want to say toughness, but her strength from her father. And so she reminds me of the siren. And for some reason, I feel safe with her, because I figure if something happens, Andrea will take care of it. She'll don't fuck with her. So hold on. Okay. So then Ross is your all-American friend. He is the one that you wish, because I've traveled so much, and so when I think of an American, it's Ross in every sense of the way, and an all-American friend. He's there. He doesn't bad talk people or he's a good guy. So goodness with Ross. And people have him wrong when they say things online and you read things, and they give him a bad rap, and it's unfortunate, because he's also a very hard worker. He knows his YouTube inside and out, analytic, all the stuff that goes behind the scenes with growing a YouTube channel. It's dizzying for me.
Relentless.
Yeah, really. And then when it comes to Javier has a piece of my heart in a way where, he's in Colombia. He's very ambitious. He wants to excel with his life. And I think the limitations in Colombia kind of makes him feel not able to fly as much as he wants. Correct me if I'm wrong, Javier.
No, you're right. Moving soon.
You're very industrious. Your mind is constantly thinking. You're constantly thinking how to better yourself, better your situation. And I've just met you. We're the Brady Bunch, the six of us. Tara, it's nice to meet you. I think you're a sweetheart. Now, going back to Anthony, like I said, you remind me so much of myself. You know what it is? I will tell you. Anthony is the caterpillar that's slowly becoming the butterfly, and I take that from me, because you've becoming worldly, and I love it. So I had to get on in my wife beater just to tell you guys this. Love you guys.
Yeet.
Love you, Georgie. Thank you.
Love you, George. So I think that's a perfect way to end this live stream. Thank you guys for being here with us today. I started this idea to communicate all this process and get you closer to the Latin American community, but at the end we ended up speaking in English, so that's be it. But yeah, thank you, Justin, thank you, Anthony, Andrea, Ross, Tara, for being here, for sharing a bit of your time with us. I know you guys have a very, very, very busy schedule, so I do really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Javier, for putting this together and for giving us a platform to speak about all of this, because it's big, it's big, and we've been sharing it with each other, obviously, for such a long time. And now that it's out in the world, it's very vulnerable. And we talk about it, still behind closed doors, like we're freaking out. Oh, this person said this, but to be able to come here and to kind of make sense of things and explain some discrepancies that people might have, we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much, Javier.
Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much to everybody who was here watching. Really, really appreciate it. Everybody who donated with their super chats. A guy called Zaharoff who made a huge donation. So very, very much appreciated. Let's hope we can make a new live very soon, either individually or as a group together. Thank you guys, and have all.
Gracias, Javier.
Muchísimas gracias.
There you go. A bit of Spanish today for Andres, for example. Gracias. Muchísimas gracias. So yeah, good night, everybody, and have a good one tonight.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.